Hey Phyllis, you're on.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm great.
Hi.
Yourself, Phil?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
Okay, great. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thank you. Well, congratulations on making the film. How did it come about for you?
Well, I've been friends with the band since before the band.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of met all the players or a few of the key players separately. There's so many. Um, and they just came together and started making music together. And I saw that something interesting and exciting was happening, and I just wanted to hang out with them and be a part of the band, really.
Mm-hmm.
So I was learning how to take pictures at the time, or learning how to take moving pictures at the time. Got my first video camera and just started hanging out with them.
Oh, that's great. And then you have so much material, I'm sure, over the years. How did you decide what to include, what to leave out, etc.?
Well, it was a big challenge. It was, I don't know how many hours it was, but I like to say 1,000, especially after all the like I've got hundreds of tapes and hard drive and many hard drives. Um, but the it was really a subtractive process. So I had
Right.
this giant pile of stuff, and going through it all was super daunting. And
Mm-hmm.
my wife, actually, Andrea, an executive producer, saw me drowning in all this footage, like 6 months into, after getting all the financing and everything was in place.
Right.
And we just jumped in and said, all right. And she rolled her sleeves up and helped me dig through all that stuff. And really, we just took all the pieces away that weren't necessary and just kept stripping it down and stripping it down until you kind of ended up with the story that we have, which is just kind of
Right.
a lovely story of friendship and you know community and creativity.
Mm-hmm. And did you have complete control over what to put in, what not to put in, or
Yeah, I did. The band was amazing. They were very hands off, and they really, really wanted me to tell the story from my perspective. And
mm-hmm.
in fact, my story was a bigger part of the original rethinking of the concept.
Right.
But there was just not enough room for that. So we just kind of ride that line where it's, my story along with the band story. And
Right.
I'm in it just a little bit, but just enough to make it something personal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did that
And
answer your
was it
question?
yes, definitely. Now it had a great style to it. How did you decide to have, I'm not sure if you call it like the double screen, the things, side by side. How did you
I call
decide
I call
on
it picture in
how it would
picture.
look?
I call it picture in picture or montage collage.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's something that it's an aesthetic that I've always liked, right from, there's a painter called Mondrian who's got all these
Uh-huh.
boxes and squares, and that's an inspiration to me, right to, other movies that I've seen over the years that use that technique.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a way for me to well, pack a lot of images into the film that are that propel the story along quicker. Instead of
Right.
just one picture on a screen, you get a better view of what everybody's doing in the room sometimes or
Right.
on stage. And I just thought that from a viewer's point of view, I kind of want to see more than just one picture at a time, just to know to get a broader idea of what's going on.
Right. That makes sense because there's so many different voices, like you said, in the movie,
Yeah,
so many different perspectives. That's a great idea.
and the band
Um,
is and the band is kind of like a collage anyways.
right.
Yes.
Mhm. That's great. Was there anything that was uncomfortable for you in the band when you were shooting the footage or when you were editing it after everything was done?
um you know I I I, not everybody likes to have the camera on all the time, so
Right.
I asked to turn the camera off quite a bit, although it was mostly jokingly, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you got to turn the camera off. But I would say when the band said we didn't want that film to come out in 2007, the original cut.
Mm-hmm.
that was an awkward, uncomfortable moment for sure, to put it lightly.
Right.
You know, and then but honestly, they were really, really supportive and you know, and really helped guide me through it. Them, you know, the band and my wife just, you know, helped me stay true to my path because there's a lot of other people trying to say this is how you make a music documentary.
Right.
And I didn't really want to, you know, and those are not my those are those other type of music documentaries that they were trying to, you know, emulate or kind of, you know, use the format of, for a better,
Right.
for lack of a better word, was something I was not interested in. So the band and my partner Andrew kept me on the on the on the on the path that it's on, and this film you see now, I guess.
Mhm. Oh, that's great. I know, how did you get started in filmmaking in general, and how did you decide that you wanted to make documentaries?
Um, well, I was born in Jamaica. My parents
Mhm.
came here and they had a store called North Park Smoking Gifts, and this is in the suburbs of Toronto. And
Mhm.
I hated being there as a teenager, but you know, as a kid with, you know, parents from somewhere else,
Right.
they don't send you to soccer or get a babysitter for you. You come to the shop, you work, and you and they keep an eye on you and do your homework there.
Right.
So I hated being there, but what I did love was the radio and the magazine rack. So I would be there all day looking at photographs, and
Right.
listening to the radio would not stop all day for me and my brother.
Mhm.
Just listen to alternative, you know, independent radio or new wave music at the time, you know, growing up. And that's where I fell in love with music and pictures. Then I
Yeah.
started working as a photographer. And then right around the same time the band started coming together, I got my first video camera.
Oh,
And that was kind of the foundation for, you know, me becoming a documentary filmmaker.
right.
So, you know, and it's just like documenting my life is just like, you know, part of is my life kind of.
Mhm. Now, I know filmmaking can be hard, as we all know. There's a creative side, and then there's the business side. How do you marry the two?
Oh, I would say poorly. You know, I've learned a lot about the business side of filmmaking,
Yeah.
and it's very challenging.
Mhm.
And you know, I don't think um you know, I've never made a film like this before, nor had the team around me. So it was a challenge to figure out a way through and you know, figure out how to make it all happen. But you know, I had the support of some good people who helped me get the financing together, and you know, and I had my partner and the band who just kind of guided me through the creative side of things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, but
Are
the
there
business
any?
filmmaking is very challenging.
Yes, definitely. Are there any new projects that you're working on that you can talk about?
Um, I don't want to. I right now I'm just kind of coming off of this film, so I don't
Mhm.
want to jump into anything
Right.
just yet. Right? There's like,
Mhm.
but there's definitely some personal projects that are ruminating back there. But I just have to, you know, this guy's just rolling out in the States right now, so I'm gonna focus on this before I get into anything else. But there's always projects for other filmmakers.
Right.
As so working as a cinematographer is how I make a living.
Mhm.
Um, so you know, I'm always happy to collaborate and help other filmmakers with their vision. Right. And I'd
That's
love to
great.
start doing some scripted work, honestly.
Mhm. Oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And then, the lastly I have for you, you know how people talk about the Criterion Collection and you go into a room and pick out some films? What would be like your top 5 movies of all time that you would recommend to someone that wants to be a filmmaker?
Oh my God.
Or 1 or 2.
That's a really tough question in
Yeah.
so many films out there. But you know, in terms of filmmakers to study, I would say Akira Kurosawa,
Mhm.
you know, Martin Scorsese,
Yes.
Terrence Malick, um, uh, Wong Kar-wai,
Mhm.
The Coen brothers. The list goes
Yes.
on and on and on, Phyllis.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and music
Yeah.
documentaries. I just saw an amazing film yesterday, about called Pavements, about
Oh.
pavement.
Hmm.
And for any pavement fans, I highly recommend it. It is just a weird collection of things that make the band kind of make sense, which is
Yeah.
they're a pretty undefinable band as well. So,
Oh, that's
you
great.
know,
Oh,
yeah. So that's a great film for anybody to check out who's a
right.
fan of the band at least.
That's great. I'll have to check it out. I try to
Oh
watch
yeah.
as many as I can, but I'm
Hmm.
behind right now.
Sure, there's so
Yeah.
much to see.
Yeah.